Hello students, welcome to your channel again. So today we are going to start our new chapter, and not only new chapter, it is also a very important chapter for class 11. So question may arises from not from directly from this chapter, but with the help of this chapter some question will definitely come. In NEET, in JEE, definitely some question will come from this chapter. So this is not only main chapter, or you can say important chapter for class 11, it is also important chapter for class 12, or you can say higher classes also. So if you cannot get the all formulas and all rules of this chapter very well, this chapter will definitely disturb you in future. So learn this chapter very clearly. Your mind should be clear when you learn something. Okay, so let's start our today's chapter, that is vector. Okay, so in the first day of this class 11, first day, I will tell you, I have still something physical quantities, physical quantities. What is physical quantities? What is quantities? Quantities which presents in our nature, right? What is physical? Quantities are actually two types: physical quantities and non-physical quantities. Physical quantities, first let's see what is non-physical. Non-physical quantities are such quantities which cannot be measured, just like emotions, happiness, anger, this type of things cannot be measured. Suppose if I tell that is, suppose this board cannot be measured. What is measured? Physical quantities can be measured. The quantities which can be measured is called physical quantities, just like length, breadth. We cannot measure the board, we cannot measure the chalk, we cannot measure the duster. We can measure the length of the duster, we can measure the volume of the ink of this pen, we can measure the area of this board, right? These are called the physical quantities. So physical quantities are actually two types. One is scalar and one is vector. What is scalar and what is vector? So when we represent a physical quantities, if only magnitude is required to represent some quantities, that is called scalar quantities. So scalar quantities are such quantities which has only magnitude, such as volume, such as mass, time, distance, length, and you can say speed, energy, work. These are called scalar quantities. Okay, these are called scalar quantities. That means, and which quantities, the quantities which possesses the magnitude and as well as direction. That means to represent a vector quantities, we need magnitude and we need directions. Okay, without direction we cannot express the vector quantities. So those quantities which have magnitude and as well as direction, those are called vector quantities, such as displacement, you can say velocity, acceleration, force. Okay, these are all vector quantities. Such as let me give an example. Suppose here is a box. Okay, here is a box, and if we apply a force 50 Newton, so we have to write that in which direction we are going to apply the force. If we don't write that in which direction we are going to apply the force, that doesn't mean anything. So I am writing that in this direction we are going to apply the force. So this arrow indicates the direction of the force. The 50 Newton is actually the magnitude of the force, and the arrow indicates the direction of the force. So hope you understand these things very well. So let's see how to write a vector quantity. How to write a vector quantity. Suppose this is a vector quantity. So vector quantity is always represent with the arrow. Okay, with the arrow, and the direction of the arrow is very important, because suppose this is O and A, this is A, so we have to write this vector as OA with a arrow symbol top of the OA. Okay, So this OA actually very important because it is not equal to AO. OA is not equal to AO. So OA is basically the direction which indicates that the vector is starting from O and go towards the A direction. Okay, and AO vector indicates that the vector is from A to O. So both are different because the direction is actually opposite. So by this way we are writing a vector, that means OA, top of the OA we have to draw a arrow. And how to what is the OA vector actually represents? OA vector is actually nothing but some magnitude of this vector with direction, right? As physical, when we express some physical quantities, suppose speed. So to write a speed, we have to write the magnitude of the speed, and as well as we have to denote the units like meter per second. So to express physical quantities, we write in terms of magnitude and unit, and this magnitude is nothing but the factor which is increased by this unit. Like meter per second is 1 meter per second, and 20 indicates the multiplication value, the factors, the product of these two factors. That means by which exponent, by which factors we are going to increase this 1 meter per second. So for OA vector, actually we are writing like this, magnitude and direction. So what is the magnitude of OA vector? Magnitude of OA vector is, we will write like this way. So this is the modulus symbol. Modulus symbol. So modulus means this term is actually scalar. It does not has any direction, only scalar magnitude values. Magnitude values of this vector and direction. Direction actually unit vector. So what will unit vector? I will discuss about this. What is unit vector? So first you know that unit vectors is such vectors which the magnitude of the vector is 1. If a magnitude of a vector is 1, then it is called unit vector. So we represent a vector with its magnitude into its unit vector. Actually unit vector, the work of unit vector is nothing but to express the direction of OA vector. Okay, so to write OA vector or any vector, we have to write like this, the modulus of this vector, this actually the magnitude, like this magnitude OA vector, and a unit vector. Unit vector is direction. Here see unit what it does? It actually does the amount of increase of this meter per second. So here also unit is actually expressed as direction only. Okay, so let's see some different types of vectors. First is equal vector. Equal vector is actually the vectors which has, you can say, if two vectors are called equal vector, if the two vectors direction is same and magnitude is also same. If the magnitude of two vectors is same and as well as the direction is same, so then they are called equal vectors. Opposite vectors is nothing but same type of vectors. If the magnitude is same, but the direction is opposite to one another, then it is called opposite vectors. Okay, hope you understand these things. Magnitude is same and direction is opposite. And third one is collinear vectors. Collinear vectors. What is collinear vectors? Collinear vectors is such vectors, suppose two or more vectors are in parallel with each other. They are called collinear vector. No matter the magnitude does not matter here. Magnitude can be different, but they should be parallel with each other. So if two or more vectors are parallel with each other, then it is called collinear vector. Direction also cannot be required. Maybe the direction is opposite or in same direction, that doesn't matter, but they should be parallel. Okay, so the fourth is coplanar vector. Coplanar vector means those vectors are called coplanar vector which lie in same plane. Suppose this vector and this vector, these two vectors are lie in same plane, so they are called coplanar vector. And the last but not the least very important vector, that is called unit vector. Unit vector is such vectors which has magnitude 1. If any vector has magnitude 1, then it is called unit vector. And another vector is that 6 number, I should write this, that is called null vector. Null vector means those vectors which has the magnitude 0, that is called null vector. Okay, now you understand that what is equal, opposite, collinear, coplanar, unit and null vector. Let us go for multiplication of vectors. Multiplication means if we multiply a vector with a real number, what will happen? Suppose a vector is a here. Now if we multiply with a positive real number, that is plus 5, it just increase the magnitude. It doesn't change the direction of the vector. It cannot change the direction. If we multiply the positive real number, only the magnitude can be changed. And if we multiply this vector with negative real number, the direction will change to opposite direction. Suppose this is a vector, and after multiplying by 5, obviously the magnitude is increases and the direction will opposite. If we multiply with negative real number, the direction will opposite, and if we multiply with positive real number, the direction will same. Okay, only the vectors, magnitude of the vectors will change. Let's see, suppose if we add, suppose we have take a beaker. Okay, we have a beaker, and just in the beaker we take some water, suppose 20 liter. Now if you add some water into this beaker, suppose we are adding 10 liter more, so what will be the net amount of water? Net amount of water is nothing but 20 plus 10, so that is 30 liter, isn't it? This will be the net amount of water. So for calculating addition of scalar, the formulas and the equations and the calculations is very simple, just more or less like algebraic equations, right? But for the vectors, those additions and subtractions, the rules are different, that are called vector formulas, vector algebraic formulas. Okay, now if you add two vectors, how to add? Suppose this is a vector and this is a vector, this is a vector A and this is vector B. How to add these vectors? So here is a method to add this vector. The method is called head to tail method. Why it is called head to tail method, you can understand. So first you have to take a vector A. See, you can take a vector and place it anywhere, that doesn't matter, but the direction should be same. You can take any vector and place anywhere, but the direction should be same. Okay, we can take this vector and place it here, but the direction should be same and the magnitude will be also same. So if the head to tail method is said that we have to add or we have to join the second vector, the tail of second vector with the head of first vector. So if you take this vector B, join the tail of this B vector with the join the tail of the B vector with the head of the first vector A, and what will be the resultant vector? It is actually the opposite. The resultant vector is actually starting from the tail of this vector and ending at the head of the final vector. This is actually the resultant vector, A plus B. Okay, I think some doubt has come in your mind. So let's see more vectors. So now let if we take more vectors, A, B and C. Suppose this is 3 vectors. Okay, so if we take 3 vectors, the head to tail method is said that we have to join the tail of each vector with the head of initial vector. Just like this, if we have taken that the tail of B vector and add with the head of initial vector, that is A. Take the tail of C vector and add with head of B vector, just like that. If there is more vectors, so we have to join the tail of initial vector, tail of initial vector with the head of previous vector. Okay, by this way we are joining, and the resultant value will be the starting from the tail of initial joining at the head of final. This will be the resultant. So starting from the resultant value will be the starting from the tail of initial and joining at the head of final. Okay, this is the head to tail method resultant vectors. Now we are going to learn about the triangle method. Triangle method is also same. Suppose that this is a vector and this is a B vector. So the resultant vector is starting from the tail of B vector and join at the head of initial vector. This is actually A plus B vector, or you can say B plus A vector. For addition formulas of vector, A plus B is equals to B plus A. Okay, you can say it is actually happening in the when we adding something, just like 2 plus 3 is same as 3 plus 2, but it is for scalar. I have said that for vectors the formulas and the calculations are different because it obeys the in its rule. Okay, just like say vector addition formulas or vector algebra. Vector only follows the vector algebra. So it is very important that A plus B vector is equals to B plus A vector. So it is actually called that commutative law. Okay, vector addition, you can say vector addition follows commutative law. Okay, and vector also follows associative law. Associative law means A plus B vector, if we add two vectors A plus B and resultant vector is A plus B. If we add another vector C, it is same as if we add A vector and then add with B plus C vector. A plus B vector and add with C vector is same as B plus C vector with add with A vector. It is same. This is called associative law. A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C. Okay. So let's prove it by some pictures. Suppose this is A vector and this is B vector and this is C vector. So can you say what will be the A plus B vector? Let me see. Let me write first A, B and C vector. Okay. What is A plus B vector? I have said that starting from the tail of initial vector and join at the end of join at the head of final vector. So what if we calculate A plus B? So starting from the tail of A and join at the head of B, like this. So this is A plus B vector, right? A plus B vector. And what is B plus C vector? What is B plus C? Starting from the tail of B, join at the head of C. This is the B plus C vector, right? Now if you add A plus B vector with C vector, if you add A plus B, this vector, that means this line, with C, this line, A plus B, C, A plus B, C. What is the resultant vector? Starting from the tail of initial vector. So we have to start from this side and join at this side. So this, what is the how to indicate that? A plus B vector, right, plus C vector, isn't it? We add A plus B vector with C vector, so we get this one. So this is A plus B vector with C vector. And what is the value if we add A vector with B plus C vector? A vector with B plus C vector. So tail of the A vector join at the head of the B plus C vector. So B plus C vector head is here. So join here. So same line we get A plus B, A vector plus B plus C vector. A vector plus B plus C vector. So A plus B vector plus C vector is same as A plus B b plus c vector. Okay, so this is both the values the same, so this is actually called associative law. So vector addition is follows associative law. Okay, now subtraction of two vectors. Subtraction of two vectors, a vector minus b vector. So subtraction can easily write as like this: addition of two vectors but with minus sign of second vector, right? Addition of two vectors with the negative sign of that means the direct opposite direction of b. If we subtract a b from a, so we can add a with the opposite direction with b, right? So those value is the same. So the subtraction is nothing but the addition but with opposite direction. Okay, so I hope you understand these things. Now let's see, suppose this is a vector a and this is vector b, okay, and this is vector c. So a vector can be, if both the if three vectors are coplanar vector, that means three vectors are lie in the same plane, so a vector or any vector can be represented with the sum of other two vectors by some factor. Like if we multiply a real number with b, lambda 1, and a real number with c, lambda 2, so by adding those vectors we can represent as a. Any vectors can be represented with the sum of other two vectors by an factor. Okay, hope you understand these things, any two vectors. So if you add this one, this b vector here, now c vector is very small, so multiply with lambda 2 and you get the result, a vector. Okay, so a vector can be represented as lambda, so this is the lambda 1 b, because we change the length of this vector but does not change the direction. Sorry, c, yeah. So a vector can be represented as lambda 1 b plus lambda 2 c. Hope you understand these things. Let's see another type of addition, that is called parallelogram law. So it says that if we have two vectors a and b, so first join the tails of two vectors. Join the tails of two vectors. Tails mean this point and this point. So join this b here. Okay. Now draw the parallel lines with a, with the head of, from the head of b, parallel lines, and b. Okay, these parallel lines we have to draw, and the resulted net vector will be the diagonal of this two this parallelogram. Okay, the net vector will be the diagonal of this parallelogram. So this vector is called a plus b vector. Okay, hope you understand what I'm trying to say. That first we have to join the tail of both these vectors and draw the parallelogram and draw the diagonal. The diagonal will be the resultant of these two vectors. Okay, hope you understand. So the direction will be from the tails to the diagonal ends. Okay, the direction will be the this line. So this is same as the trigonal, the result will be same as trigonal formula, because why? Now if you take this a vector with now if you take this a vector and place this here, if you take this a vector and place it here, what do you get? B vector plus a vector. This is the vector, so you get b plus a vector, right? And as you know from the commutative formula, that b plus a is same as a plus b, right? So this is actually same as trigonal formulas. Hope you understand these things. So parallelogram by parallelogram method and by triangle method. So let's do some numericals. Suppose a rain is falling in this direction with a velocity 35 meter per second. Rain is falling, okay, in this direction, and wind is flowing in this direction with 12 meter per second. What will be the net, you can say net direction of, net velocity of rain? What will be the net velocity? So this way, because we have to draw a parallelogram, right? How to get the actual net result? First draw the parallelogram. So here it is rectangle, and draw the diagonal of this. So this will be the net direction, and you can say with the angle theta it will false, right? So if this is VW, that means the velocity of wind and the direction also, and this is v rain, that means the velocity of rain, and this is the actual direction of the rain because of the wind. So what is the magnitude of the velocity? Actually magnitude is nothing but the diagonal, right? Diagonal. So how to calculate the diagonal? Square of the both sides, that means the square of length and addition of square of breadth and square root of it. So vw square, you can say vw square plus vr square, root over vw square plus vr square. Just like we know the diagonal formulas, if it is a and b, so the diagonal formulas is nothing but root over a square plus b square, right? So like same way, vw square plus vr square. So what we get? We get 35 square, sorry 12 square, first one is 12, so 12 square plus 35 square. So by calculating this in calculator you get the answer. And what is the direction? That means what is the theta? So to calculate theta you have to calculate tan theta first. What is tan theta? Tan theta is nothing but the perpendicular by base, yes, isn't it? Perpendicular is 12 and base is 35. And what is theta then? Theta is nothing but tan inverse 12 by 35. Now if you calculate this one, you get the actual result. Okay, hope you understand these things, the numericals. So this way you can calculate the magnitude of the direction of final rain and the direction, magnitude and the direction. Okay, okay. So today up to this much, I think this video is very helpful for you. And if you have any query regarding this chapter, vectors, today just I have started the vector. So if you have then any query of today's lesson, you can contact with me. I will make you understand. Okay, so if this video is helpful for you, subscribe my channel, and thank you for watching this video. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you.